Alright guys, I wanted to do a product review today on these Trailcraft cranks. Crank set well, in this case it happens to be on my wife's bike, but I've fitted 3 sets of these now on hers, my 12-year-old's, and mine. And it all started honestly with me. So I'm middle-aged. Yeah, I'm in my mid-40s. I'm on the shorter side. I'm 5'7", and my inseam's 30 inches. And for a long time, I rode with cranks that just standardly come on the mountain bike. I wouldn't have known any different. I didn't know any different. And here's a set. There's nothing wrong with these. Shimano makes a great product. I'm not going to complain about Shimano at all, but this is a set off of one of my bikes. And if you notice, I don't know if that'll zoom in, if that'll show up well on the camera or not. These are a set of standard 170 crank, 170 millimeter crank arms, right? This is what comes on everything. It doesn't matter whether you buy an extra large frame or if you buy a small frame, they pretty much come with the same thing. So, being on the shorter side, I decided, hey, you know what? I want to give these a shot. Why? Let's talk about that for a second. Why would you want to give these a shot? Well, a crank set like this. Well, let's think about the 170s. With a crank set like that, your butt's in the saddle and you're doing one of these. You know, your butt's just rocking back and forth. And if you're just, in for a cruise around the neighborhood, doesn't matter. If you're just at the jump park and out of the saddle all the time, doesn't matter. If you're in the saddle a lot, it matters, particularly if you're going to do a lot of miles. So I wanted to bring some attention then to these Trailcraft cranks. Again, this company is well known for, or I think they're becoming more well known. They make high quality mountain bikes for kids. That's the genesis of their company. I am clearly not a kid, but my inseam, I guess, is sized like a kid. These are 152 cranks on here. They've been fantastic. I've got 152 cranks on this bike as well as my bike that I ride all the time. And then I have a set of 140 cranks on my 12-year-old's bike. I will tell you that all of them have been fantastic, save one issue, which I'll get to here in a second. At 30-inch inseam, I really like the 152s. I've also ridden my 12-year-old's bike that has the 140s, and it's a lot shorter than I would care for at this point in life. So the one problem I have had, if I can swing around this side, I'll probably pick up the Shimano cranks again. You have this preload nut that's common to all of these, this style of crank, right? If I go back to the Shimano, it's a little bit different geometry. This one uses like an E-Torx kind of tool. That's another nice thing about the cranks on the Trailcraft. Again, I don't think I'm going to be able to get in there. I'm dodging things. Maybe you can see that. Maybe you can't. Both the preload nut and the clamp bolts, I think they're 5mm Allen key. They're the same, which is nice. I'm not going to complain about that. But these parts, this preload nut, as well as these clamp bolts, come with Loctite on them. Obviously, you're applying a lot of force, a lot of torque to these arms. This stuff could, this one you probably can't really see, but I've just got this one just sitting here for storage. I don't know if I'll ever use it or not. But you want this whole assembly nice and tight. You want that preload set rightly. Again, you're not putting much preload on it, but you want that preload set rightly, and you want it to stay, and you also want the clamp bolts to stay. Well, whatever they use for Loctite here at Trailcraft on these, does not work. It is not doing its Loctite job. It's not doing its thread locking job. So I've had a number of them come loose on me. Actually, on my 12-year-old's bike, the preload nut fell off. That's probably more my fault than Trailcraft, because he started complaining to me about it and I didn't deal with it until it fell off, and then he had to go looking for it. But anyway, clean up the threads on the bolts. I personally got some Loctite 243. That has worked well for me in this application. I haven't had any trouble with any of them coming apart since I've applied that. So go visit Trailcraft if you're of shorter stature like I am. You'll find that their products are quite nice, and that again, that thread locker is the only problem I've had with these in any way, shape, or form. They go together nicely. I guess another point that I'll make is I bought these with Trailcraft's bottom brackets. I have found that they work fine with all of the bottom brackets that I've run into. The newer style threaded bottom brackets where it's got the integrated bearings and all that. Obviously, they wouldn't. This kind of crank assembly would not work out with older style bottom bracket assemblies, but I've just been able to slide these cranks in, bolt them together, and roll outside of that one issue. So give Trailcraft a visit. They have this has been a great product. I guess one more point that I'll make. You probably can't see it. Maybe you can't see it on the camera. I am not the lightest guy in the world, and I love doing things like going to Rays in Cleveland. And I'm not necessarily the best rider in the world, so these cranks have seen plenty of abuse at my feet. Jumps have been cased, landings have been hard, and I'm weighing in at probably 220 at the moment, and it's taken all the abuse that I can throw at it over the last year. So I have every expectation that these are built strong enough to withstand the abuse an adult of my size can throw at it. So even though they look like they're for kids, I wouldn't be hesitant at all to try them as an adult. So good luck, guys.